Welcome to Fourth and Forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network. Join hosts Dan, Richie, and TD as they break down the latest news and storylines across the NFL, featuring game predictions, breakdowns, heated debates, live Patreon callers, and everything in between. Catch Fourth and Forever every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel.
Your host today with the special edition, Tony Dowe, and we are going to be talking about the game last night, which is the Chargers versus the Vikings. We're going to get into that, and then after we get into that, we're going to go over Roundtable Sports NFL QB tiers by Tony Dowe, myself, and we're going to talk about all 32 starting quarterbacks right now and what tier would you put them in an 11-tier system. All right, I know that's vast, but you'll get it. We'll talk about it. Okay, so again, make sure you punch that like button. Let your friends and family members know about the channel. We're here to stay. Let's have a good time. I'm solo dolo, so y'all show me some love. All right, hit that like button. All right, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and get started real quick. First and foremost, this stream is being powered by Sleeper. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100 using code RTS. All right, get in on the action. Sleeper is amazing. It's not just the player props, but you also have the fantasy football as well, which I'm doing really good in the fantasy football. So go check out Sleeper. Another cool thing with Sleeper right now, they are giving you a $20 entry with no deposit needed. Okay, use code RTS. Take advantage of that where you can get in the game. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. But one more before we get started, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I personally want you to know about RotoWire, the ultimate fantasy football tool. Sign up today and get 15% off with promo code RTS. RotoWire is the reason why I am a top 3 team in my fantasy football league on Sleeper, because it gives you all of the recommendations. It gives you advanced analytics and stats and different things that'll help you determine who the best lineup is week in and week out. So make sure that you check out RotoWire. All right, supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. Let's dive in, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, there was a game last night, the Minnesota Vikings versus the LA Chargers. I had said yesterday that this game would be important. This game would be important for the Minnesota Vikings and the Chargers. And here you have it. The Chargers won that game. First and foremost, Minnesota, they have a quarterback issue, ladies and gentlemen. They have a bad quarterback issue, and they're going to have to get that resolved ASAP because they're not going to win games like that. The defense can only do but so much, and then that starts to break down. So they're going to have to figure sure that they can get some offensive production. You have all the weapons you need. You have a running back, but you can't move the ball when your quarterback isn't playing lights out. And that's the issue going on right now in Minnesota. They need better offense. They need to be able to produce points in this league. I always say this to everybody. You have to produce points in the league if you're going to really compete. All right. Now, defenses can only do but so much. The rules have been shaped so that defenses are at a disadvantage. That doesn't mean you can't have a great defense, but you're still working harder if you're trying to make the defense better than the offense. every team is going to need offense to get the job done if they really want to win games, and Minnesota's not doing that. Now, the Chargers, on the other hand, that's a totally different story. The Chargers are a totally different story. Joe Alt comes back, and they run the ball off that left side now. Now the play action is better. Herbert's getting back to himself, and that team rolls, and that defense is actually getting better and better. They go 5-3 regardless of the Chiefs streaking now. The Chargers are back, man, and they're about to make strides, and they needed this win, and they needed it in the fashion in which they did because they were looking a little shaky. They were looking lost. But it's crazy, man, how snap your fingers and a shift can happen just like that. All right, Joe Alt was amazing last night, got beat once or twice, but, you know, you can tell the difference for the team overall, and Herbert just lit it up. Obviously, right? And this team, they're still, oh man, it's like, do you still put them as the favorite in that division, the AFC West? Y'all let me know. Who do you have as the favorite in that division? Who do you have? The Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders? We already know that's not the case. So y'all let me know in the chat right now, who do you have as the favorite in that division to come out as the division champ, all right, to get one of the top 4 seeds in the NFL? Let me know in the chat, and then we'll get into the QB rankings. So right now, those who are in the chat, go ahead and let me know. I got one person that said Chargers. That's kind of how I'm leaning. It's just so hard to go against the Kansas City Chiefs because year in and year out, you know what they're going to do, as someone backs it up right after that and says the Chiefs as well. I'm going to say the Chargers, but that can change over the next 2 weeks. We just got to continue to watch it and see how things go. But that guy, Ladd McConkey, man, he's just so good. Herbert's great. And when you can run the football in L.A. and not have Herbert throw the ball 50 times but 25 instead, that means it's a good day. It's a good day for everybody. And that's what they're trying to do as a football team. That's how they want to operate that team. All right. Now, I want to shift gears here real quick. All right. I want to go over my quarterback tiers in the NFL because, you know, I have a very particular way in assessing quarterbacks, judging quarterbacks, and things of that nature. I have a unique way of doing it. I call it my 11-tier system, even though it's really like 9 because 10 and 11, nobody's ever really in that. And I like to say the best quarterbacks in the NFL are the elite quarterbacks. There's less than a handful of them, might even be less than 3, but elite quarterbacks are at the very top. My belief in this current atmosphere of the NFL is that elite quarterbacks can win Super Bowls. Okay? And I'm not talking about the one-offer. Because people are going to start mentioning Trent Dilfer and all these guys. I'm not talking about the one-off situation where they won a Super Bowl and then they didn't again. I'm talking about winning a Super Bowl and having a good team that can compete for it every year thereafter. You got an elite quarterback, you have a chance to win the Super Bowl every year. A chance. I mean, you could even go 2-15, but you still had a chance. If you got an elite quarterback. Elite quarterbacks carry the team when they need to. Elite quarterbacks, when the run game isn't good, the defense acting up, guys are dropping passes. Elite quarterbacks, they make it happen however they need to. Better passes, running the football, taking it upon themselves, playing godly throws, or I don't know. It's just things that you don't normally see, they do in the most critical moment where all hope look like it's lost. And they are the ones that make you go, oh my God, did y'all just see that? They're the ones that make you do that. Those are the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay? And right below the elite quarterbacks in the NFL are the great quarterbacks. And when I say the great quarterbacks, they may not necessarily always make you say, oh my gosh, I can't believe he just did that. You'll get a sprinkle of that on occasions. Every rare occasion, every 3-4 weeks, you get a moment like that with a great quarterback. But what a great quarterback typically is, they never, just like an elite quarterback, by the way, but they are never the reason their team loses, whether they win or lose. And they always contribute to wins and a loss, the effort to win. They're always, it's like when they play the game, it is clear as all clear. It ain't their fault. It ain't that person's fault. Now, it's going to be everybody's fault at some point, but we're talking about levels to this. If you got 10 qualifying games, this person right here, 8 or more times, it ain't their fault. They did not contribute to the loss 8 or more times out of the 10. So, yeah, maybe one of them they did. Every quarterback, even the elite one may do that on occasion. But there's levels to it. So, elite is the top of the top. Great is right under it. Because great doesn't mean that you do carrying. It could also just mean that, and you do have carrying moments, by the way. You have carrying moments, but it's, few in between. But you're just always solid and good, man. And you're doing your job. And you can also process the field. You have a superpower. I don't know what that superpower is. It changes between quarterbacks, but they typically have a superpower that when all else fails, they can lean on and still get the job done, even if at a lesser level, but it's production. Okay. So elite, great. Let's go to the next. And you can win Super Bowls with great quarterbacks. Let's go to the last tier that I believe you can win a Super Bowl with. And again, when I say winning a Super Bowl, I mean, you got a chance every year with them, not the one-offs. I'm not talking about the Trent Dilfers and stuff of the world. Those are the one-offs. I'm not talking about the Nick Foles of the world. Those are the one-offs. They're not elite, great, or really good. I'm not talking about those one-offs. That's possible at any time in the league. Usually taking a historic run game or historic defense something else is carrying. I'm not talking about those. But I got elite, I got great in the last tier that I believe you can win a Super Bowl with is really good. What is a really good quarterback? A really good quarterback is a guy who shows carry ability, but only in specific moments and situations. Not a great form of it, but on rare occasions, man, look at him. Ooh, he cooking. Like if I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes, nobody says, ooh, Patrick Mahomes cooking. No, because it's a given typically. Nobody, when Josh Allen is throwing for 300 and running for 100, nobody's like, ooh, Josh is cooking. They're just like, Josh, because it's on them already. But the really good quarterbacks, you recognize in those moments, you're like, ooh, he cooking. Because he's still earning his way trying to get to great or elite, but where he is really good. He got a good arm, throws a great football, turn it over on occasions, but not much. Not enough to hurt the team. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Never the 1 touchdown, 1 pick. 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. Never the 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. No, not they don't do that, but they don't hurt the team much at all. A lot of people like to say they're the elite game managers. The really good quarterbacks, they're elite game managers. And they also have a superpower, but it may not be 2 or 3 or 4 of them. It just may be 1 or 2, or, a mix like that. But they make plays enough to where you recognize he's one of those guys. Not an elite guy, not a great guy, but, man, he one of those guys that 28 teams would take on their team every year. Let me not say 28. Let me just go to about 22 teams would trade for him if they had a chance. A really good quarterback. So in my NFL quarterback tiers, I feel like elite quarterbacks, can win a Super Bowl. Great quarterbacks can win a Super Bowl, and really good quarterbacks can win a Super Bowl. Now, all my other tiers, yeah, you could win a Super Bowl, but you probably got a historic like run game, a historic defense, or something like that, or the combination of both of them. I'm not talking about the one-offs. I'm talking about the give you a good chance every year. You got a shot with that guy. Now, those are my guys that I love. Those are the guys that I would want as my quarterback. But now we're going to go over a few tiers under that. And this is the worst tier grouping you can be in. It's the worst tier grouping you could be in. It's 4 tiers, but the top one is the most despicable tier for an organization. It's the tier every organization want to avoid. The problem with avoiding it, you don't know you're in that tier the entire time. It's the worst feeling in the world. And Matt, put it like this. And y'all already know that's the good tier. Good. He's good. Not really good. Not great. Not elite. He good. He good. Which means he ain't a bum. He ain't bad. He can throw the football maybe. He can win some games. But he ain't ever going to carry. He going to go along for the ride. He never going to be in the driver's seat. And if you put him in the driver's seat, you're not getting to your destination. It's what I call good enough not to be good enough. It's the worst quarterback an organization can have. Why is it the worst? Because you don't know for a lot of years. You don't know this for too many years. It's worse than a horrible quarterback. Because a horrible quarterback, you see he horrible, on to the next one. That's relief. It is better to have a horrible quarterback than a good quarterback in this league, and people are going to kill me for saying that. People are going to kill me. What are you talking about? In the NFL, I am telling y'all, it is better to have a horrible quarterback than a good quarterback, because the horrible one you can identify and move on and try to find you an elite, great, or really good. But the good quarterback, they can waste up to 11 years. They can waste up to 11 years of a franchise just to figure out at the very end, yeah, we got to move on from this guy. And there's still debate about it then. Let me give y'all an analogy that I just thought of on the top of my head. It's like going to the fair or the circus. Well, that's the fair. You know the basketball goals that you shoot for the prize? You know all of them bent in, right? Now it's bent in, but it is bent in enough for you to still make it, but it got to be almost perfect. Those who don't know at the fair, a lot of the basketball goals at fairs are bent in, but you can still make the shot, but it has to be so perfect. No wiggle room or bouncing around and going in. No, it got to be right on the money. Perfect. Having a good quarterback is like going to the fair, shooting the basketball and missing 100 shots in a row, and you done spent $1,000. They done charge you $10 a shot. You done spent $1,000, and you missed every one. And you break the barrier. You walk up there, put the ball in with your own hand, and it don't go down because this goal was actually bent too much to where nobody could have ever made the shot to begin with. Nobody could have ever made the shot to begin with. And there you are, $1,000 in at 100 shots. Oh, man, I'm out of here, man. I'm moving on from this game. It took you that long, $1,000. But guess what? It's even worse because having a good quarterback, you don't even break that barrier to go up there and put the ball in. You just keep on shooting until you're tired and like, man, I can't figure this out, man. You just keep shooting until you're tired. You just don't even know that the ball too big. It ain't gonna ever fit. You just don't know. You getting trapped right now. It's the worst. And that's the worst because guess what? That quarterback ain't a bum. They can throw the ball. They can game manage. They can have highs that are as high as great quarterbacks. But they can also have lows that are as low as really bad quarterbacks. Never true consistency of domination. In the big moments, they don't enlarge themselves. And sometimes they just stay the same or they shrink. But they do just fine against the inferior competition. The bad team. Oh, we had a good game today. Yeah. Then you go up against Baltimore, the Chiefs, or something like that, and it's like a bad game. All the time. But you're winning 9 games a season. You're winning 8. You're winning 9. You're winning 10. Some of them even can win 11 in a season. Oh, the quarterback can't be the issue. We're having a winning record, even if it's 9-8. We just got to make what's around them better because we got a winning quarterback. A good quarterback. A good quarterback. We got a good, and this is the biggest trick of the NFL right now in the front offices. They think a good quarterback built around properly is enough. Stop chasing the Nick Foles Philadelphia Eagles. Stop chasing the Trent Dilfer version of the team. First of all, it's the rarest thing that you're going to accomplish. And second off, even if you do, it's only going to happen once. But you're chasing something that's rare within its own rarity. It's possible if you just build perfect. If you build perfect, which is unrealistic. It's the worst quarterback to have. But I always give grace to front offices because you don't know. You don't know it the whole time because everything's on the positive. They got a 68% completion percentage. That's solid. That's top tiers in the league. You know, hey, man, they get some touchdowns. May not be the 40-yard touchdown guy. May not even be to the 33, but it's a solid 27 every year. He ain't throwing 20 picks like them bad guys down there, but he giving me 11, 12. But, hey, you know, that's less than 1 a game. Plus, we know we can improve on the O-line. Plus, we know we can improve on the secondary. Plus, so there's other things we need to fix. They don't even look at the quarterback as possibly being the issue. Because I feel like general managers are still stuck in. See, here's what I think is happening in the NFL that general managers are doing a disservice, but they don't know better. And the sad thing is the innovative younger guys are starting to get it. The innovative younger people are starting to get it in the NFL. This is why I laugh at that notion where I'm supposed to trust your word over a general manager. It wouldn't hurt for you to just hear it out and then make your own determination because general managers get fired too. Why you think they get fired? Because they obviously wrong about some stuff. And they get fired, 2, 3 of them get fired every year. Y'all know how this goes. But I sit back and I study the game and I recognize, yeah, well, they're right. Outside of players being a little softer now and about their feelings and all of that, which is true. You know, it's a different time. But that ain't the only thing that changed. The philosophy of winning has changed. Like people don't, when you introduce a new factor into the game, people don't take that factor and spread it out over everything and see how it impacted everything. They just take that factor and leave it there and say, yeah, that's that factor. Ladies and gentlemen, when they added a 17th game, it made one more organization every year delusional. A 17th game, right? Or it made 9 and 8 and 8 and 9 more valuable. When they added an extra playoff slot, same thing. Now there's an extra team in the NFL that's delusional. Oh, we made the playoffs under this person. This is the same argument I have about in Miami with Flores, Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel goes to the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, at 9 and 8 one year. We went to the playoffs with Mike McDaniel one year. I think we were 9 and 8. Brian Flores went 10 and 6, and we missed the playoffs. Oh, but McDaniel's got them. Flores didn't. So a 10 and 6 didn't, but a 9 and 8 did, and y'all think that makes them better? No, that's just the landscape of the NFL. That's what happened in the NFL. We talk about the same year where every quarterback almost in the AFC got hurt. We had the craziest quarterbacks in the Pro Bowl. That's just the landscape. And that's an example of not factoring in something that alters the entire NFL. When they make changes, it alters the entire NFL. Let me give you another example. Quarterbacks used to make a small amount of money coming out in the draft. Then all of a sudden they got rid of it and they paid all the quarterbacks just real contracts right out the gate. I don't know if many of y'all remember this. They paid quarterbacks real contracts right out the gate. That was like, if I'm not mistaken, like Stafford now. It was in the area of Stafford. Was it like RG3, Kaepernick, and all that? I don't know. It's somewhere in that area, like 10 years ago or something like that. They were just paying quarterbacks the big contract right out of college. Y'all know, like some of y'all don't even know that. Some of the newer fans is, like 25 years old. A lot of them don't even know that. They think that, hey, when there's a rookie come in, number 1 overall pick gonna make 10, 11, 12 million. That's it, no more. No, there was a time where the number 1 overall pick can get the $100 million contract right out the gate. And when we switch to the current system where there's levels to it, that altered the game. This is one of the biggest alterations of the NFL that nobody talks about. The quarterback salary cap and how it impacts the game overall. It's so vast, and I've been studying it. And I'm just going to give y'all a little brief synopsis of it, right? When you brought the quarterback's money down to that amount, not only did it give everybody more money to play around with their team and make the team better, but do you notice something? Do you remember when we had a shortage of quarterbacks not too long ago, where it was like, oh, we ain't got enough good ones in the league. These guys struggling out the gate, and we're paying them the big bucks. That's why they changed the rule, by the way. We were paying these guys $100 million contracts right out the gate, and they were struggling. They were doing bad, and it was like, oh, they killed the team. Like, I want y'all to think about that. In today's NFL, if we were still doing it, Cam Ward would have got $55 million. In today's NFL, if we were still doing that, Cam Ward would have got 55 on the roster. Now he gonna have way less. And organizations like, oh, now I'm stuck with this for years because it's my first round draft pick. They had to change that quick. That's why they made the change. But here's the impact of the change that general managers better pay attention to. How many first-round quarterbacks on average come out every year? Put it in the chat. How many first-round quarterbacks on average? You know what? Remove first round. How many quarterbacks on average come out every year and start for their team at some point in year one? Start for their team at some point in year one. I don't care if it's third, fourth, fifth round. How many quarterbacks every year come out the draft and at some point in year one, they get to take over the team? Minimum 3. Because you already got like 2 first rounders that's going to start, and it's always that random second, third, or fourth rounder that starts. 3 every year. Honestly, the average might actually be 4, but I'm just I like to give numbers sometimes so that I don't have to argue, but it still makes the point. That's how egregious it is. 3. So general managers, every year, 3 teams just got better from a financial standpoint to load their roster up around a cheap salary. Every year, do y'all not notice young quarterback teams are having a lot more success these days? And we're not even talking about just the quarterback. We're talking about their teams. Have you not noticed every year there's a new one that comes on the scene? Started out with Burrow and those guys, the Cincinnati, the Chargers, then the Green Bay Packers. Then you had Jaden Daniels hitting the scene. You got Bo Nix hitting the scene. Now is Drake May. Do you not see that those teams are also doing well because their rosters are able to spend more money? In the last 5 years, I'm talking about 5-6 years, right? Now some of those guys have gotten their money and there's less on the team, and we'll see how that potential starts to flutter a little. So why do I bring that up of changing the whole landscape of the NFL? Because it used to be where you build your team. I'm about to rock a lot of boats. Some people going to get my point. Some people going to vehemently disagree. You used to be able to build your team. You used to be able to reset, take 3 years, and in year 4, you're in the playoffs. Like you're building slow. Like you used to be able to build your team. Your problem now, you're on the clock when you try to. Because while you're building with your young guy, guess what? The young guys are still making the playoffs while a team is building. So who's getting left out? A lot of the already built teams. See, y'all don't notice that every year there's 2 or 3 teams that were in the dumpster that have replaced 2 or 3 teams that were at a height. Look at what's happening this year. Dumpster Colts flipped it all the way around. Dumpster Patriots flipped it. And the Colts get to do it because they're giving a quarterback peanuts like a rookie contract for now. You know, so they have a whole lot more talent on that roster that most people don't recognize. They don't have the 6 out of 10 linebackers. They might have the 7 and the 8s. See, it's the subtle things that you don't realize in a roster. Nobody in this chat nor I can name every player on every roster. Now, I probably can't even name half. I probably can't even name 25% of the players on every roster. But you don't pay attention to the fact that there's teams that's operating with the non-impact positions. Like they average like a 5 out of 10 on a skill level at those positions. But then you got some teams that have a young quarterback and their whole roster through and through is averaging 6.5 to 7.5 at those non-key positions that people consider. Like my guard might be 5 out of 10. Man, they got them out of free agency too. They got a 7 out of 10. Those small little incremental changes make those rosters better. No, these guys ain't elite, great, really good in those positions, but the whole overall roster is just better. And they're winning. When you have a quarterback on a cheap rookie deal, you have an advantage opportunity to try to win. And you wonder, yeah, but this quarterback, that quarterback, and that quarterback been getting paid for a long time. Why aren't they hurting their rosters? Because they elite, great, or really good. So they got, no, elite or great. That means they got a little bit of carryability. So if you have carryability, you can afford to absorb the salary that you're earning because you're going to make up for it with your carryability. The problem we got with the good player that ain't good enough to be good enough, you pay them and they make up for none of it. And then you get the Arizona Cardinals. You get the Miami Dolphins. You get the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's on the way. Trust me. That's what you get. That's what you get. These teams aren't doing anything different than the Chiefs, but Patrick Mahomes got to carry some weeks. Kyler Murray not doing that. Josh Allen, the Bills ain't doing nothing more than what the Dolphins are doing on the roster. Some would argue some areas, the other team, Dolphins could have even been better at preseason. But when Josh Allen got to put the cape on and do more carrying, he can do that. We can't. That's what the good enough not to be good enough quarterbacks, that's the debacle teams are in. Not only do you take them through their rookie contract, but then you pay them afterwards. And even if you figure it out, you're stuck with them for a few more years. This is why I say they could take you all the way up to 11 years. Most of them are gone in 6 or 7, but they could push you all the way to 11 before you finally realize it. And general managers, they're not getting this. They're going off of the long history. You know how in history today, like in the past, if you look back 30 years ago, people would have said, oh, let it play out. 20 years ago, it was like this, and it might do that again. Today, just like the internet, everything now it's AI. Everything progresses so fast now. You go to the industrial stage, and then you go to internet technology era. These things were like 20-year gaps. Now the gaps are happening every 5 years. Now is this, now is that, now is that. Next thing you know, it's going to be a whole new culture release every week. Yeah, that might be 100 years from now, but that's still, it's progressing. Same thing is happening in the NFL. I get so tired of people talking in today's game in terms of the year 2000. Defense wins championships. It still does, but not as much. Not as much. You see how things are shifting, but we're not noticing it? We're holding on to the old cliches. That's how people are analyzing football now. That's how they're analyzing football. Soon it's no longer going to be defenses win championships. It's going to be quarterbacks win championships. I'm telling you. And it's going to turn into those historic defenses that stops an elite quarterback. That's going to be the new thing. So I say, I also say that to say this can help you predict the future. This is why if anybody's smart, you put a premium on your defense right now. That's a whole nother conversation. Which approach should every organization be attacking based off of the trends of the NFL? We're in an offensive quarterback trend that's probably about 4 years hard into it. We're coming up on the middle of it. It's about to start to come back down. But when that's going down, what's going up? Defense. So the Miami Dolphins, who's about to do a whole setup rebuild, if they were smart, offense shouldn't even be the focus on the next 2 years. You should be building your defense. You should be one of the first teams that's ready for the new wave, because everybody's going to start to invest in that area when 3 years from now, none of these quarterbacks can be stopped. None of these quarterbacks can be stopped. I'm telling y'all, soon enough, you're going to have more than 16 quarterbacks that can't be stopped. And it ain't just because the skill is better, and in some cases it is, but it's also because the way that the league, the rules and everything are. Get ahead of the game. Focus on the offense. That defense. Having literally 2028, have the number, try to go for having the number one defense in the NFL. And you're going to win games with your young first or second year quarterback right in there. And as that quarterback is getting better, hopefully he's worthy of it and he ain't just good. But as he gets better, we're going to be shifting back the offense before everybody else too. There's waves in this league. People are starting to put a premium on defense just now. Like you notice certain teams, oh man, we had the number one offense all season. Still didn't help us win the Super Bowl. People are shifting right now. I'm telling you, that's what the Patriots, that's why they're going to be good, because they're leaning towards what everybody has ran from, because they just wanted to keep up with everybody else on offense. Chargers. Look at the Colts. Everybody talk about, Daniel Jones. You see what that defense is doing. All these teams that are it like the defenses. All the teams that's shocking you, the defenses. And as they're winning, they're elevating their quarterback. They're giving them more confidence. Even when they make a mistake, the defense having their back, not giving nothing up. It gives them peace as young players that are trying to learn the game. Like, I do believe there's a difference between a young player that has peace learning the game, still winning despite the young mistakes, than a quarterback who just in the dirt right away. Now, here's the thing. In the dirt or not, you still have to show your value. Like last year, Drake May was in the dirt. He showed his value. Now, this year, they went ahead and, gave him a few things out of the dirt. He still might still be in the dirt to me, but I'm just saying he's a little bit out of it. Because that offense can definitely, from a roster standpoint, be better. The 3-4 pieces away from being that offense. But he's still in peace because that defense holds it down. Any mistake he make, they make up for it, and he's still holding his own. He gets one of those soft QB introductions to the NFL, and that is going to make them that much better in the future. He gets to relax while he learns the game without everybody saying he sucks and worried about, oh my gosh, am I about like that psychological warfare for a rookie quarterback who isn't playing great has to be on a level that none of us can fathom. I want you to really think about that. In their head, like, I've made it to the NFL. This was my dream. Everybody is looking up to me. I'm the man. I'm the number one overall pick for an NFL team. And fans everywhere buying my jersey. I'm the dude right now. And you get in that first game and you throw 2 picks and have no touchdowns and you only had 110 yards and everything around you is negative. And you don't think that, I don't care what, like, all of them can be as hard as they want to be. Oh, I don't focus on all the outside noise. I hope not. Because I know anybody who becomes a victim of it, you're going to easily say to yourself, man, I've reached this highest height. I don't want to blow this. Like, oh my gosh. Like, and then you start to creep in all that extra caution. Ooh, I want to be right. I want to be perfect. Then the delays. And like, it's not, and that's when your team is losing. That's when everybody's talking bad about you and everybody else. It's a hard not life for those quarterbacks. They messing their game up and everything, trying to get it right instead of just going through the process, which is on coaching. But I don't think Drake May is going through that. They did it right in New England. They gave this kid no pressure last year. Ain't no expectations. Just want to see you go out there, play your game. He went out there, showed flash. Now he got to put the team on his back a little bit, but ain't nobody was checking on the Patriots. Soft life over there. And he's thriving with the intangibles. That's the thing. That's why I know Drake May's going to be all right. He going to have a little slump at some point where he start throwing some picks and people like, ooh, Drake May sliding. But I can see the intangibles, the mobility, the decision-making on when to show that mobility, the throws, fearless throws, the ability to stay calm in the pocket, not get happy feet, like the intangibles. Yeah, I want to see some exotic defenses throw some things at him and make him misread some things, but all the other things are there. And that's what I look at and I say, man, this kid is going to be on his way. He's going to be on his way. And I'm passionate about quarterback study. If anybody can be certified about being passionate about quarterbacks, it's Dolphin fans. And I have come to the conclusion the reason why we haven't won a playoff game is because we haven't found an elite, a great, or really good quarterback yet. It's that simple. It is that simple. That's what it comes down to. So that's the worst player you can have is a good player that's not good enough to be good enough. But they are good. Like, gosh, like hopefully y'all feel me on this. I want you to say the word, like, he's a good quarterback. And the sad part is nothing's wrong with that. That's actually good, right? But it's so bad. It's so bad at the same time. Like, you got to really comprehend what I'm saying right now. It's the worst quarterback to have. Like, because while you evaluate them week by week, everything's good. Like, it makes you not even, why are we talking about the quarterback? He's doing his job. That's the problem. That's all he's doing. See, some people are just short of saying reality. A quarterback isn't there just to do their job. They're there to do their job and make up for some of the jobs that are being missed. However they can. That's the job. The old cliche is gone, and if you stick by it, that's why you keep losing. Worst quarterback you could ever have. Because it's a good thing, and it's also so bad. Now, it ain't actually that bad for an owner, though. Like an owner, he going to sell tickets. You always got a chance, blah. Organization, it ain't that bad for financially. It's like even though they go to the playoffs, it's like Mike Tomlin. He's like, Pittsburgh, you're going to always make money because you're not terrible. You're never terrible. You're never unsold on the team, but you always got hope. Even if it don't amount to nothing, it's still legitimate hope because of the coach. But it's the worst, man. All right. Under the good tier, we have above average, and we know above average, guys who are just getting by trying. And listen, above average quarterbacks are typically backups that get chances to start. They have flashy moments, but they also got 3-4 pick games. They can throw the rock here and there, but some things are missing. They can do the job, and sometimes a little flash here and there, like they good. Okay, look at you trying to earn a little starting job on the 32nd ranked team. Hell, you got it. That's who they are. The above average quarterbacks. Then you have the average quarterbacks. It's not average. Like the average quarterbacks, they're actually not even good quarterbacks. They could throw the football. They typically have no processing ability. They typically have to see it open before they throw it. And then they have to try to hope that their arm strength is strong enough to get it there because of that delay. But, it works. And sometimes it hurts. But I'm average and I have a job. Typically, the average quarterback is a backup quarterback in the league. That's your certified backup quarterback. In the rare occasions, they get that 31st and 32nd ranked quarterback slot. That's your average quarterback in the NFL. And then you got a whole bunch of below average guys. They sitting all up and down the bench waiting on the starter to get hurt. Some of them ain't even waiting. They just like, hey, hopefully he don't get hurt. Let me just chill here and keep getting paid. That's your below average guys. Bad guys, they were drafted early, but they backups. Bad guys were drafted in the first round, but they on somebody's roster as a backup, hoping they get a chance to revive their career. Most of them never do. Some of them eventually do. But it typically doesn't last long. You might have a 2-3 year stretch of going off, and then all of a sudden they bad again. That's what your below average quarterbacks are. Then the bottom 4 tiers, I'll be quick on this because it's not many of these in a quarterback. You have officially bad, okay? Because you do have some officially bad quarterbacks in this league. But you never even know they're on a roster. They're sitting on a roster, some of them even emergency third quarterbacks, okay? Then really bad, they just come in and leave. They get in the league and they leave. Like they come in, get an opportunity, and then they shift off. And then horrible, 1 year wonders, they out of here. Not even a wonder. They just came in, they are awful, and then you don't hear from them anymore. Then the last tier is WTF. I haven't met any of those yet, but I'm sure they're out there. We'll see it one day. But those are my QB tiers. I really kind of focus on the top 7, 6, or whatever. But I'm truly convinced that elite, great, really good can get you a Super Bowl and compete every year. Good, above average, and below average, not so much the case. Y'all give me 1 second. All right, that's cool. I just bought myself some more time. I was going to end the stream, but I got a phone call just now that said I have a little bit more time. And with that time, this gives me an opportunity to go ahead and read off the 32 starting quarterbacks right now and tell you which tier I believe that they are. Y'all, if y'all cool with that, let me know in the chat. Are y'all good if I go through all 32 quarterbacks that are starting right now and tell you what tier I believe they're in, and maybe give a real quick, brief explanation why on some of them. All right. Especially if you follow me on all of that conversation that I just had. I'm very passionate about this subject because I believe general managers in the NFL today are falling behind, not recognizing the trends, not recognizing strategically how you want to get from point A to point B being a Super Bowl, point A being, hey, let's build this thing, and you navigate those paths and you pay attention to what's happening in the league. Give yourself the competitive advantage. They're not thinking like that. They're thinking just typical X's and O's. And X's and O's only go but so far, because guess what? The Dolphins roster right now, you can give me Bill Belichick, you can give me Andy Reid. We ain't making no playoffs. X's and O's ain't going to fix this. It's not going to fix it. Right now, it's personnel, okay? So it's not just philosophy of X's and O's. It's the personnel you bring in for your philosophy. It's the making sure that you have the right leaders in the building, making sure that you have an accountability system. That's a big one too. Accountability system in these organizations. Because what we've heard over the last 7 years is all these front offices front and say, we're doing this as a collective. We're doing this collaboratively. All of us are working together and we're making the decisions together. Y'all better stop that foolery mess. Because when you all make the decision together, there is zero accountability. If you all picked him, who's going to hold who accountable? You need individuals giving their say and levels to it. Who's responsible for this? Who's responsible for that? This collaborative approach is killing organizations because they can't hold anybody accountable. Hard to hold people accountable for stuff that you voted for. It's hard to. If an owner said, go get him, and you go get him, and he fails, owner can't hold you accountable. So now these front offices are convincing the owners to let's do a collaborative approach. So when the owner come to sign that check, he see everybody in unison. Okay, let me sign. But now who can you hold accountable? We all agree. This is why these general managers get these long tenures now. When a lot of organizations say, man, this guy should have been gone. All right, let's get into it. I'm going off. So let's start. All right, let's start at the top. Let's go with Josh Allen, ladies and gentlemen. All right, y'all tell me what y'all think in the chat. We're not going to play games with this. So if we already know he's not in those bottom four, we're not going to even play around like that. We're going to have serious conversation. We know he's not anywhere in that middle either. So we're not going to play with that. So we're just going to ask ourselves, is Josh Allen elite, great, or really good? Put it in the chat. Is Josh Allen elite, great, or really good? My take on Josh Allen is that he is elite, period. Okay. And I'm going to make a chart of this. Josh Allen is elite. I think his elite moment for me was last year. Not because he won the MVP, because I stand by the fact that I think Lamar should have won it. But there is no denying that Josh Allen carried that team. And Cook ran the ball well. He had a complimentary piece. But what I'm showing, I thought their death last year was going to be defense. It didn't matter. Josh Allen carried that team. And he's constantly in the fray in the playoffs because he has a regular dose of elite play. He puts the team on his back. You're down by 14, no fear. Josh is here. That matters. And he does it more than he doesn't. He does it more than he doesn't. So, and that's why I hate him so much. And I don't hate Josh in a bad way. If I met Josh in person, we'd probably be the coolest ever. But I can't stand him because he stands like, being a Dolphin fan, he is going to stand in our way. And until we get somebody who can out-duel him or duel with him, and you have that confidence, man, I ain't fooling myself. That's why I can't stand that bum. That's why I can't stand that bum. He's in my way. He's going to be in our way. But that's neither here nor there. So Josh Allen, elite. All right? Let's go to the next quarterback. CJ Stroud. Put it in the chat. I'm gonna get rid of the foolishness. Okay. We know he not in my 11 tier system. We know he not in the bottom four. He not bad, really bad, horrible, or WTF. But I'm also gonna flip that and go to the top and say we know he not elite. He's no longer even considered to be great when you put his sample size together. I'm gonna put him in the range right now, and everybody got to decide. Is he really good, good, above average, or average? 4 tiers. Is he really good, good, above average, or average? Give me what you think about CJ Stroud in the chat. Okay. What I have for CJ Stroud right now at this stage in his career, and remember, I do full bodies of work. I put it all together and I do weigh certain circumstances. I know what he did his rookie year. I also know what he did his second year. And I know what he's been doing this year. Right now, I have CJ Stroud in the good category. He's not really good. He's good. Good enough not to be good enough. But he fringes on the possibility one day of being really good, but he also fringes on the possibility of just being above average. This year and next year is probably going to be his career defining year. So right now, CJ Stroud is good. And in my eyes, you're not winning a Super Bowl if he's going to be ranked just good. Now, I see people in the chat doing circumstances, bad O-line. Listen, my brain takes all of that into consideration. I cover every team in this league almost every day on 2 different shows. I try my best to be versed on every team. I know what they're going through with that O-line over there. But that's why I do analytics in my head, and I actually analyze circumstances in context. So when I see a CJ Stroud without an O-line, I also saw Drake May all last year without an O-line. I like Drake May's last year than I like CJ Stroud's right now. And Drake May was not special last year. That's my problem with CJ right now. I like Drake May's last year without an O-line more than I'm liking CJ right now. Ain't by far. And then you go to year 2 where people are supposed to have a sophomore slump, like CJ had a sophomore slump, regardless what's around him. Yeah, you're getting passed up by young guys, and that's what you got to avoid. But good is not a bad thing. And he's young enough to where he can impact that and get into that next level. But right now, he's just good. He's the worst quarterback you can have because you may not figure it out for 7-8 years. Unless he changes the narrative to where you don't have to figure it out because he either bad or he's really good and you keep moving forward. I'm just telling you what I got. Let's move forward. All right, we're going next. Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to play around. He's elite. All right. He's elite. Now, people will be like, oh, you crazy. But let me tell y'all something. Patrick Mahomes. Give me one second. CJ Stroud. Okay. Patrick Mahomes, I have not always been as high as other people have been on him. I still believe that Patrick Mahomes is not an elite processor of the field. A lot of people, oh my God, this guy don't know ball. Okay, I'm just telling you what my analysis is giving me when I watch the film and when I watch him. He's not as elite processing the field as people think. I don't know why they think. I'm gonna be honest. He's mid doing it. I'll take it a step further. He's mid doing it. And even with that, he's an elite quarterback. Why? Because he ain't bad doing it. Number 2, his improvisational skills are second to none. And his big play ability out of improvisational skills are right there with Josh Allen. His ability to also extend plays. See, it's one thing when you have a flaw, even though nobody recognizes his flaw, which I'm telling y'all is processing the field. When you just make him a pocket quarterback and he's in there, he's not always making the right read, the best read. I'm telling you. It doesn't matter because guess what? If you're going to create 7-8 seconds to throw the football, you don't have to process. Processing is only so you can get the ball to the right read fast enough. You got to be a fast processor. But these mobile quarterbacks are kind of not needing to anymore. But you'll never know that they can't do it well because you just always see the improvisational play when they miss. Like we could say, oh my gosh, Mahomes, you got somebody wide open right there. Oh my gosh, he looked away from him. He's scrambling. Oh, 40-yard, this and that. I'm gonna go a step further. If Patrick Mahomes was an elite processor, they actually might be worse than they are now. Because proper processing a lot of times is going to have you, recognize that first read, which ain't as big as the improvisational plays you make sometimes. Like, it's crazy. But he's elite. He's elite. He has the pedigree. He's proven in the biggest moment. He doesn't, like fold. He had a bad Super Bowl, but he's done so well that, okay, that happens. It's like a wide receiver catching 8 touchdowns in 4 weeks, and then they drop 1 touchdown. Like, what, we gonna be crying? He allowed to drop 1 in his life, right? Like, So Patrick is elite, excuse me. He also does understand pre-snap identification. He knows his protections. He knows how to call his line. All of those smaller intangibles too. And again, the biggest piece, he's never shaken either. He's never shaken. And that doesn't mean he's not going to have bad games. Everybody does, but he's still elite. All right, next up, Trevor Lawrence. Lord, we get over here to Trevor. See, this is going to be a problem. Okay, first of all, Trevor ain't elite nor great, so I'm not playing with y'all. He's not in the worst categories either. He's just like C.J. Stroud in the sense that you have to decide, is Trevor Lawrence really good, above average, or average? Is Trevor Lawrence good, above average, or below average? All right, let me give you mine. This guy sits between 2 tiers for me, and I don't like it because I want to give you a definitive, which I'm going to always give the player the benefit of the doubt whenever I'm not definitive. So I'm going to put him in the good category, but he is at the lowest level of being good. The lowest, like literally up. He just, matter of fact, just speaking to y'all, he just went to above average. He just went to above. Oh, he back to good. He is right there. He has good moments. Trevor ain't gonna do no carrying. Trevor ain't doing much special. Like, but he is so not bad that he's good or above average. Like, he can, playing like this, he can be a starter, a top 32 starter for 20 years. You ain't going nowhere with no Trevor Lawrence, man. Especially since you paid him. Now, I see somebody put it in the chat, above average. He did carry his team to the comeback playoff win, TD versus the Chargers. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that comeback. But do you remember why they fell behind to begin with? See, don't come to me with that type of stuff. See, I ain't the type of person that believes that if you dig a hole just because you dug yourself out, no, you got to make a mountain. Remember, when I gave you the shovel to make a mountain. See, where we get it mixed up is when these guys dig a hole and they fall in the hole. They don't have perspective of the mountain anymore. They're in the hole. So just because you were able to drag the dirt in and make it level again, you don't get no credit for that. You back to square one now. Now, where my mountain? So he caused that slip in the beginning to fall behind. What, we going to give him extra credit for coming back? No, man, that ain't how it works. That's like telling a student, I studied and I got 100 on the test. And the person sitting next to me got a 60 on the test, but you allow them to do retakes. And if they do the retake, you'll add an additional 5 points on. Oh, so the second time he got 100 and an extra 5 because he had more time to study. So why am I getting it right the first time? That's how that seems to me. Like, we always praise these quarterbacks and give them extra credit when they were the reason the hole was dug in the first place. Trevor's good, but he's above average. He right there, man. And I think that's him. That's just who he is. I'm going to tell you now, that man ain't got elite in him. That man ain't got great in him. man, he'll have little twinkets of really good. I see. That's the scary quarterback. I'm telling you, you be stuck with him for years. Anyway, let's move on. Hold on, I'm gonna put him right there with Trevor Lawrence. I ain't even gonna be able to finish all this, man. Y'all done got me started today. All right, we'll do 2 more and then I'll end it, and we'll pick it up another time. Jared Goff. This is an interesting one. We know he's not bottom tier. Okay. He also not even the bottom of tier 2. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the chat. Jared Goff, elite, great, really good, good. Which one of those 4? Elite, great, really good, or good? Man, y'all are brutal. Y'all are brutal. Some of y'all talking about above average. I wanted to read that, but I'm going to give that man a little bit more respect. Okay. I wanted to add that category because I was like, some people probably going to think, but I said, I'm going to give him his respect. Is he elite, great, really good, or good? All right. So let me give you my take. I see all y'all's in the comment section, and I agree with a lot of y'all that I'm seeing right now. Jared Goff is a really good quarterback. He ain't elite and he ain't great. He is a really good quarterback. I believe you can win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff because, you know, when Jared Goff is on the money, he's on the money. And when I say he's on the money, he's making unbelievable throws. He can make every throw inside the numbers, outside the numbers. He's reliant on making sure that you have protection around him. He commands the offense as good as anybody. Like when you think about it, like we don't think about Jared Goff in this sense, but technically he's one of the veterans of the league now. When you really think about it, like all these new guys coming in, we've lost sight that there's a whole new era of veterans now. Even though you still got Rodgers and Russell Wilson sitting around, but what about Stafford and what about, you know, Goff and all of those guys? Those are your new veterans. Like your veteran. I ain't talking about the 5th-year veteran. Talk about your veterans, man. They're in the league. Dak Prescott, you know, these guys are out here. It's their era now. Will they take it? I don't know. Don't let it skip because that's what it's looking like. But Jared Goff is a really good quarterback. He commands his offense and he can run his offense too. Jared Goff can run his offense. And what I mean by that, at the line of scrimmage, making checks, calling audibles, doing all of that stuff. He's rarely a liability to his team. He's an asset more than he's a liability. Does he carry? Minimal carrying, but impactful. Like he carries in a big moment doing his job. One thing I love the most about Jared Goff is, you know, moments in a big game where 4th quarter, you're trying to keep the ball away from the other team so you don't lose. He plays defense without playing defense. Like he's picking up that 3rd and 6. Keep the chains moving. 4 minutes left. He's picking up that 4th and 1 that they should be punting, but Dan Campbell, I got confidence in you, Jared. They don't want it. Ain't even a run. Jared Goff, bam, 12 yards on 4th and 1 to give him the ball back. 2-minute warning. Keeping the ball away from the other team. Like he's a really good quarterback. All those things matter. All those things matter. And yeah, I think that's a safe place for him. Jared Goff, really good. And he ain't gonna fall down into good. I mean, maybe a K, like rarely, but he's gonna be really good and have great moments too. Like the 100% completion, the one for 400 yards, all those moments, he's gonna have them. You know, so really good quarterback in the NFL. And that's good enough to win a Super Bowl, in my opinion. Now, last one for the day, and then we'll pick up the rest another time. And hopefully y'all enjoying this. I'm trying to make, you know, every 3 weeks when I get my chance to do the solo show, trying to make it very interactive and insightful. And informative. So y'all let me know in the chat if y'all enjoying these type of conversations. All right. So Jackson Dart is the last one for today. This is tough because we have a small sample size, but you have a sample size. I don't need people evaluating, well, rookies struggle in the second year. No, don't put that on him. Drake may not. Well, he's too young to know. You got 6, 5, 4 games. Well, how many ever games? I want to know off of those games. The beautiful thing about a guy like Jackson Dart is whatever we decide here today, the tier he's in, it don't hold any water. In 2 weeks, that tier is probably changed, good or bad. But where do we have him right now from what we've already seen holding up in the NFL? Jackson Dart. He's not elite. He's not in the bad categories at the bottom. I'm going to open up a wide range for this. Is he great, really good, above average, or average? He's nothing else other than those. He's not elite yet. But is he great, really good, above average, or average? Tell me what you think in the chat, and I'll break down what I believe. Here we go. I think Jackson Dart right now is a good quarterback. Not, but I like I'm telling you, I want to put him in really good, but he's a good quarterback, but not in the sense like the other good quarterbacks, good enough not to be good enough. It's just the sense of we want to see more, right? But I would put him in a good category because he's already came out in big moments and showed promise. He has a mobile effect to him, his mobility to be able to go get it. He has a good arm. They are protecting him, though. Like, I've seen some weeks they opened it up and it didn't look so bad. Then I've seen some moments like, okay, a little bit of roughness. But he's a gamer. And he also has the mentality and the fire as well. The little bit of cockiness some people may not notice. I love it. He has it. This is real promising for the Giants. But right now, I'm just going to make him good. But I'm going to tell you, if I'm going to lean in any category below, which is above average or higher, really good, man, I think he can be really good. I mean, he may end up elite, but I think he can get in that category of really good. But I don't know yet. It's too early. But right now, I put him in the good category. But I think he has the potential to be really good. All right. So that is Jackson Dart in the good category with CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence, but we're going to circle him because of how young he is. I don't want to compare him to no CJ and Trevor. They've already showed certain things that give you concern. Jackson really has it. All right. Man, I'm going to end it right there, but I want to keep going. I could probably just go because this is actually pretty fun for me too. We did 6 quarterbacks. All right. We did Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Jackson Dart. We did those 6. All right. We're going to get into some more. All right. Not right now. And who knows, man? I might do a special one tomorrow. Courtesy, maybe. I ain't guarantee. But I might do an extra one before the next show. But we'll see. I'll let y'all know because I want to get through this and finish this as well. All right. So I guess I'll call this part 1. All right. Of the 5-part QB tier series. How about that? Because we got 6 done. And we're going to need about 5 different parts to do all of them. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in today for the solo show. I appreciate y'all coming through. I really, really, really do hope y'all enjoyed the stream and the conversation talking about these quarterbacks. Real raw and honest. I want to make sure when I do these that, you get nothing but the real raw and honest. And this is where I rank guys, and I stand behind what I believe about the game of football and willing to change what I believe if new data presents itself. But I'm studying the game, and trying to understand the ins and outs of why everybody's getting it wrong. And I'm coming up with answers. But, the crazy thing is a lot of people, they attack you for your answers and they call you a clown and not knowing ball, but they still over there scratching their head. I just don't get why we're going through this, because you keep ignoring the actual problem. So I want to be able to show y'all those areas in the league and talk about this stuff. All right. Let's see. Somebody said we had a super chat. Yes. Herbert just ended the talk yesterday, man. Every year Herbert ends the talk 4 or 5 times. So people just going to hate him. Bring Tannehill to finish the season unless we tank. No, Tannehill's chilling. He ain't worrying about none of that. All right. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here though. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. All right. I will see y'all soon. Don't forget, if you want to join the Patreon, make sure you click that join button below. I'll talk to y'all later. Don't forget to check out Sleeper, and don't forget to check out RotoWire as well. Peace. I'll see you soon. Till next time. Love y'all.